Dun, dun, dun. Who asked if I was gonna stream? Oh yeah, here. Let's go. Where is my dear? Yeah, so the Lucy guide is almost done. Well, it always feels odd to say, but to clarify, the guide for Blackbeard players to beat Lucy, the matchup guide. But how exactly does one phrase it? Do I say Lucy matchup guide? But even then, it sounds like I'm making a video for Lucy players covering all the matchups. Do I have to write a whole fucking sentence? Even if I say like Blackbeard Lucy matchup, it could go in either direction. Oh, well. You know what? Let's just get into it. Screw it. Nobody gets a chance to catch up and join the stream on time. We're just going for it. Well, everybody watching the recording obviously doesn't have this problem. We're looking for a sabo because I might want to get a game to add to my sabo guide. Well, I keep saying sabo, but technically it's Lucy. A ask and you shall receive. A lot of one costs, but most of them aren't really what I'm looking for. We lose the coin toss. Oh god, that's even worse. Guess I should have stuck with the Lafitte. He gets the searcher. He hits Leo. Okay. I mean, he already hit Leo. Third point. He's gonna play another Leo and searchers. And, we just wait. And he has another one. That's unfortunate. I guess I'll drop a Burgess. And play another one next turn. Do I want to follow with Kuzan? I want to get a stage out, so maybe I could find a 5-cost Kuzan. I'm not playing stage on 4 here. Probably waste $2 something. And he does drop the Leo. He is prepared. I'm never going to be able to shoot the Cavendish. Nice trigger. I'll take a black hole. Let's me shoot Lucy. We're kind of stuck with the Cavendish though. Because we got 2 Maeras, we do have 8 cards in trash already, which is always pleasant. Oh man. So much. Oh, he has a full board. Imagine trying to shoot through this. Guess I could, you know, black hole the Leo and then shoot the Cavendish, but... Oh. Could have played Doc. Is it worth it? Or do I... Because I really want to get stage going, but... Guess I'll have to wait until next turn. Yeah, I can't swing. I can't risk swinging with the Burgess. I mean, he doesn't have too much. He doesn't have enough. He doesn't have enough events in trash to play his Watch Me Ace or whatever it's called to reduce the Burgess. I guess if he does Barrier Pistol, he could do like 8 onto 7. I do have a 2k. I think I'll be fine. Playing the 6 cost is kind of, you know, eh. What do I even drop here? I don't have enough to go up. Tempest Kick Black Hole will kill Lucy. Augur as well. Oh shit, I wanted to swing. Well, it's fine. Now I don't have to worry about like him killing me in some annoying way. I think that was a mistake. I think I should have blocked with Kuzan. The I guess, I mean, if he had Barrier Pistol, he would have played it, but he did get the draw from Cavendish, so it's possible that he top decked it now. Okay, it looks like that's not the case. In that case, I will now still grab him. So many one costs. Can't shoot anything. He can't defend the Burgess as nicely. The Cavendish as he can is live because his leader build he doesn't work, and at the moment he doesn't have the stage. What's he pondering about? I kind of like questionable play now that I think about it. For 7 he can, okay. Well, that wasn't exactly, he had 3 barrier pistols. Wow. So smart. He also had the Watch Me Ace, but yeah, he had 2 events. He couldn't have played a cheap one, so yeah, he couldn't have gotten the Watch Me Ace cheaper, but he could have just played Fire Fist. There was nothing to reduce, huh? Okay, so he should have just played Barrier Pistol, and that would have solved his problems, I think. That's barely a win. I can't exactly use that for content. He was thinking so hard his brain exploded. Yeah, really. I was really cooking. We create another lobby. I doubt I'll get a back-to-back Sabo. Lucy. Zoro. Oh lord. Oh lord. Playing against Zoro with no Vortex does not sound pleasant. I guess Devon just to get her in the trash. Oh, might as well take Black Hole. Wish I'd had a dock, that would have been a nice situation. Kill the Hiyori before she can search. There's a restand event. I still just swing into it, right? Don't think there's much of a different play. I think I keep the Tempest Kick. Yeah, this is yeah, I don't want to give him the Toshigi. You're still 60% or so into Zoro without Vortex. They run some dumb stuff. And aren't as good as the Zoro players in OP13. Damn, okay. Well, I don't mind that. As good as the Zoro players. Damn. Come on, how am I ever gonna kill this stuff? This thing? I guess we can just black hole it. Probably just play Kuzan. I do need a Burgess. Next turn I can maybe like Tempest Kick, black hole the Perona or something. I don't know. Uh-huh. Okay. Do I want the bigger Burgess now? Nah, I'll take an Augur. Actually, I don't have Augur, but you know, whatever. I'll find one. Yeah, probably just a Myra. And guess a Caribou. Worst case, I just do Tempest Kick, right? So, yeah, there's the Augur I was looking for. Guess Myra first would have also been good. Okay. Black hole with the other one. I think I just grabbed Burgess right away. Let's see where we go with this. I could also Tempest Kick Black Hole, just to wipe his board. Both of these are not such bad ideas. I think I might actually do it. But then I don't have Burgess next turn, but I'm rid of the stupid Perona. Gotta do it eventually, right? There's Augur. Boop. Boop. Bye-bye. Zoro was an option good players could consider an OP13. I don't think the best players are choosing Zoro and OP15. Damn. Did you ever see if the Laboon or Kaido approach was worth it or not? Yes, it's not worth it. Tempest Kick, Black Hole the Perona, then Augur Doctor. Yeah, okay, I did that. Taking this sucks, but I don't have a 2k. What does he want to do? Play like Mihawk or something? Oh no. Oh, come on. I could do double 5 cost, but I think it's too slow. Burgess, I don't have one on board, and I would rather just take the 2k. I just think we play 10 cost. I know he has at least one restand event. Probably gonna freeze my shit again. Tick tock, boom, boom, boom. Yeah, it would be nice if I had a Burgess, but clearing his board is nicer. Yeah, I was kind of expecting that. He's gonna restand and yeah. Don't think there's much to do here. How high of a counter can I do? 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm exactly dead. If I swing with the teach at least. I could also play Kuzan and like, search stuff with the Lafitte to get extra cards. I think I just swing with Augur and Leader, play 10 cost teach. I guess, no, I'm not dead to Deadman's Game. I'm not dead to the restand event. I'm not dead to anything. So I just poke a bit closer to game here. There is no other play. 7, 9, 10, 11, 12. I don't think there's another play, because if I play the Kuzan, then he has the Tashigi swing. Oh, I guess I can counter out of the Tashigi swing. No. Because if I play the Kuzan and then he plays Deadman's Game, I would need to counter out of 2, which I can't. I can do 11, I can get out of, and then I die. So if I do that, I lose to just the Tashigi swing. So I just play the 10 cost, swing life, and hopefully kill him next turn. Attack fails. Come on, man. I guess. So if I swing with the 1 teach, I guess then he can just force his way through with. Yeah, then I just lose to like 15 life. I guess 15 life still kind of fucks me, huh? This is so omega gay. The skill required to win this, truly amazing. Thanks, Joe, in the comments for enlightening me how like just the best Zoro players are really a threat. The intricate gameplay of swinging 12 life 6 times in a row. Absolutely fantastic. He swung once with a Perona now that I think about it. Everything else was leader swings. Oh, an L. Alright, let's go, boys. Let me show you how it's done, okay? Do I trash the Augur or the Black Hole? I would like to find a dock. So I'm kind of tempted to play. I guess I could do that with Lafitte as well. I'll trash the Augur. I think I'll be able to find a Kuzan. You have a big brain leader, very complex gameplay. Absolutely, man. I mean, did you see that? I'm pretty sure he attached Dawn at some point. She was crazy. No dock. That is very unfortunate. 2 of my black holes. A very big kind of search. Very unfortunate. Um. Hmm. I need to trash something anyways, I'll just grab this at the moment. I'll play the Lafitte actually. Maybe I'll get an Elthor out of it. I don't mind if that happens. Okay. More one costs. I could really use a dog. But next turn I'm playing Kuzan, so. Damn, he's only at 4. These NL plays are just straight up genius. Pretty sure you need to like do an IQ test and get like at least 140 points before they let you play NL. It's actually insane. It's another auger. Okay, there's a dog. That's nice. I don't think I need more than this one. Presumably now comes a Nell. This would be clean, alright? So watch and learn. Why no swing? Because I'm currently starving him. Make him run out of stuff. Just to give us a bit of time to stabilize the board. Okay, come on. I wanna show my dear subscribers how it's done, how we beat a Nell. Okay. No. No. Oh, come on. Yeah, see, because of combos like that. Because of gate cancer shit like that. Fuck. Ugh. Disgusting. I think I want to get the stage out, even if it's a minus. But I'm playing Lafitte, so I kind of need to give up. Okay, question now being, do I grab another Augur? Or do I grab Burgess? Burgess is at 7, almost 8. So I can consider going just for the Burgess. Actually just, kill the Null with swings. We're at 7, so we won't be able to play 10 costs, but... let's see what we get from the draw. Kuzan. Okay. You know what? Augur lets us shoot. But I guess Burgess also lets us just shoot and kill it. How much do we reliably need to swing with? 14. So it'll take us a bit. Go for another Augur for now. Give up, I don't know, a Lafitte. Okay, damn, okay, wait, let me catch up. What do you mean on third turn? A 10k remove KO's prime? Yeah, of course not. And that's very balanced. Still working on my dissertation after watching that 3 out. How dare you? Probably stink just like your opinion. Yeah, bro. That was funny. I think most of my opinions people are pretty fine with. I think some people oh he killed the other one as well. Gamma knife and Elthor, bro. I could live, but it would cost me my hand. Is it worth it? No. God damn, that's so fucking cancer. Somebody give me a Tempest Kick and a Black Hole. Oh my god. I don't have a Devon. I think it's good to have one in the trash. I don't need another dog at the moment. I could go 14. Just straight up kill it. Alternative is Kuzan and Lafitte or Doc, which is not a bad idea. He probably doesn't have more. I think it's time I start making a little bit of progress on his life. And Kuzan Lafitte is a pretty good variety. He used an El Thor, so maybe I can consider playing Caribou. I want to play Lafitte, but at the same time, if I'm going to play 10 cost, having a Doc on the board would just be very convenient. I think people were most fine with most of my opinions, at least they should be. The only thing, I mean, the one thing I know people were pissed about was the Water 7 ranking. The other one, some people like Wano, so they might be, you know, inconvenienced by that. But I guess I could actually grab Burgess here. I might try to like, you know, okay, so if I grab Kuzan, I can Augur shoot something. If I play 10 cost, I can swing as well. So I'm gonna go for Burgess. He can't stun this one. There we go. Now do I stun this Enel and swing into it? That would be 9 on 8 though, which feels kinda pointless. So I think I just go live. I guess he might try to swing into this. I think it's too easy for, I mean, how easy is it actually? I guess he just need to swing 12 and it's gone. I guess he can, he'll like, he gets to 14 for free anyways, right? Meaning that the Burgess dies one way or another. Caribou lets me stop his card generation, but it gives me a card to defend or something, but the tough decisions. I mean, I don't have a lot of rested things, and I have a good amount of HP, so I think I can. And you might also have tempo generating on plays, so I will actually give it up for now. Yeah, there's people that like Wano, I guess, you know, because it does have a very high finish and lots of cool stuff at the end. But people just remember that over the fucking hundreds of episodes where nothing happens. And yeah, Water 7 is just like Water 7 is a fine arc, but all the things that make Water 7 like amazing are in Annie's lobby. It's basically set up for Annie's lobby. And if you would put them as like one story, then Water 7 would be, you know, like really nice setup for a really nice story. But on its own, it's just setup. And the setup in itself is not that interesting without the payoff. Another Enel. I think I might just take the hit. Yeah. I need the card. I need like Tempest Kick Black Hole or something. Or just another 10 cost. Oh boy. That is not good. Guess I'll just play Burgess and swing. I could swing high onto the Enel. I can do like I could do 9 life. I guess the problem is that he can give this Enel blocker. And suddenly he is safe and I'm almost dead. Guess I could kill this, just be done with it. You know, like 14 isn't guaranteed. I can do 7 life and then kill the Enel, which would leave me with 4 Dawn, so I can do 16 onto 10. But if he has enough events, he lives that. So maybe I guess I just do 18 onto 10, make sure this is dead. Even if I get him to 0 life, Black Hole can't stop Enel, so better off making some progress so I don't die. Okay. Unless he just has like non-stop counter in hand, this is dead. And then we play Burgess. Okay. I think we keep our hand for this. I actually now want the counter. Is it just me or get people getting more and more frustrated with the Metanobi 15? I mean, everybody was already annoyed with Enel as soon as he came out because he's mega broken. And people have been pissed about yellow with Boa, Nami, Luffy, for, you know, entirety of 14. So people were already salty about it. Understandably so. As someone who doesn't like Skypiea, I was amazed he put it above Water 7. Yeah, like as I said, like while like in Water 7, like in Skypiea, more stuff actually does happen, right? So I always watch these at 2 times speed. This is so weird. The gameplay, you mean? So it's weird to see. Black Hole doesn't really help me because I just go for 6 cost Kuzan. What event did he grab? Oh, he drew fucking no, Mamaragan, okay. Yeah, probably just 10 cost here. But we're probably dead, so. I know I'm on the outskirts, but the video was so funny because you're a fan of 3 characters I think are kind of bland. Ooh. But I'm due for a reread anyway. I mean, hey, never a bad idea. That was disrespectful. Still not sure if you're a troll or you really believe in your heart of hearts. Look, Elliot, tell this fraud. Shadowy cooked. Thought about disliking when I heard you like. You thought about disliking when you heard that I liked Senor Pink's backstory? You dislike Senor Pink's backstory? What the fuck is wrong with you, dog? That is such an insanely unique backstory. Damn. Water 7 has amazing reveals like CP9 and Frankie's backstory, while also giving the crew their first official fight. Yeah, but their first official fight sucks ass. Just very annoying. All this frustration and disappointment that Usopp builds up. Yeah, but our frustration and disappointment is in Usopp for always running around and crying. Completely warranted? Not really. Nobody ever treats him like badly in any way. It's fully in his head. It's understandable that it develops that way, but it's not like it's a development where like, you know, he keeps having to put up with stuff and then finally he lashes out. feel like it sets a new tone in One Piece. The tone in One Piece came from like the whole opposing the government type thing and about the darkness of the government. And we kind of really, explore and see that. Is there a chance? He's at 10, right? So, am I missing something? I guess he could have like attack reduction. I guess I should take it. I mean, I guess if he has the attack reduction anyways, then that's annoying in both scenarios. Okay. Sure. Okay. So he has no more attaching after this. If I take the, I mean, it doesn't really matter if I take this or not. The question is like, can he get to 12? Two L Thors will do the trick to buff him up. And like some attack reduction, like the kitten, but he'd need two. But I'm better off taking the hit then, because that way I might get a little bit of counter. Because he has an extra life, so there's no way I really stabilize and win this. Can I go for game? Yes. Is it likely to work? No. I'm just kind of cooked. We can take 10 cost. We stun a Nell again. We can clear this one. We clear this one. We have one blocker. He has two swings, and we're dead. So we just swing 7-8 and hope that he just doesn't have it. But I mean, he probably does. I wish Doc had a bit more base power. It would make a lot of things a lot easier. Like if he had 2k base like Searchers often do. Then I could do like 8-9, stuff that's generally more threatening. I'm new to One Piece and play Black Teach, so I'm interested why Augur over Burgess. What does Augur do? Okay, wait. Is he fucking with me? He is fucking with me. The double divine departure into the 2k event. Bro. What a cunt. I mean, to be fair, I was only like 2k off. Although I guess if he couldn't counter that, he wouldn't have let the 7 and 8k swings go through. Okay, now let's address some of the Augur. Okay, people in the chat already answered. Do you think Promo Teach will have a spot in Black Yellow Teach? Maybe. Depends on how fast the meta is at the time and some of the other support we may have. It looks like we'll have a lot of good, like, high cost options, like our 10 cost Teach, the 9 cost Boa. We'll have the 7 cost, no, 6 cost Shiryu. So there'll be space potentially. We'll see what we get. Usopp, Senor Pink, and Rosie are the best parts of Dressrosa in no particular order. Usopp is not the best part of Dressrosa. Like, God Usopp is funny and it's like an entertaining thing, but the amount of like times that Usopp runs away crying as like his friends that are calling for him, Robin being turned into a toy, and even at that point he just keeps running away and crying, and it's very frustrating. Like if he had gotten his shit together like three, you know, cuts earlier, then I would have agreed. Being the hero, saving the country, once again overcoming his fear, but no. He lied to her from the get-go, got her pregnant while still lying. Like you said, was entirely his fault the way she ended up bedridden. Okay, fair, fair, fair. But that's more of a complaint about him, right? About him being kind of a dick in the past, because he's part of a like murdering pirate crew. People said Senor Pink had a sad backstory when in the same arc we get Law's backstory. Yeah, of course it's not up to Law's standards. Law is insane. I think Law's is still my favorite backstory. And so devastating. Kuma's is also sad, but I prefer Law's. Robin is also amazing, but still Law. Mm-hmm. Promo Teach will be amazing in Black Yellow Teach. Black Yellow Teach has good prediction since he can redirect it as yellow. Better chance at surviving when you bring out a slow 10 cost. I mean, yeah, that's kind of true, but at the same time, like, Mono Teach also increases his survival chance by the raw aspect that your opponent is just slower, right? Uh, if your opponent, sure, you can prevent an extra attack at the cost of losing a card, but to balance that, your opponent now gets things like summoning free extra units, burning your life, healing, removing your units without spending extra things, drawing a shit ton of cards, or getting free done. All those things, you know, suddenly come back. Uh, and so it's not that it's definitely going to be safer than Mono. The only extra yellow I'm adding to Blacklist is the Nightsea Boa. Her one cast downer event, and maybe the zero. I love how you say, like, the only thing, and then you add fucking 12 cards to the deck. I'm not a Law fan. I think he needs someone to play off of to be interesting. Rip Rosie. I mean, very few. Like, how fun is like a single character gonna be just standing in silence by themselves? Of course, characters are most fun when you have people they're interacting with. Law is just a good baseline as just being cool as fuck. And then, since he also has that brutal backstory, you have a bit to work with. Oh fuck, I kind of, because of the Nell matchup and the Lucy matchup, used later ability. Not a good idea against Nami this early. I'm sensing some hate towards Usopp. What do you mean some hate? Yeah, I don't like Usopp. I I like him as a concept, you know? But what annoys me about Usopp, so I mean, I think it's very hard to disagree that he's innately annoying in his execution. You know, he's loud, he cries, he runs away, he lies, he's often just a problem, right? But then, people enjoy that to some degree and think it's, reasonable. And there's always the argument, and I understand that, and I agree with it, that Usopp is like just a dude, right? He's not incompetent. Okay, maybe, but he's a really good sniper, so he's something he does well. I would love an augur here. Let me shoot that little shit. I guess that we just do stage and play Burgess. Next turn, I guess my era or Lafitte. I'll be at 7, so Lafitte will be a higher surge, but I want to do my era. I also want to get the Caribou out. If I don't find... my era is cheaper. I think that's actually relevant here. Let's see. But with Usopp, it's like understandable, but then we feel for that. We know that it's a wild scenario, and in comparison, these things, it is reasonable to be fucking terrified. But we're in a fantasy world. We're in a fantasy setting. So, wait, do we even have an augur in trash? No. So at some point, we are like accepting that these crazy things exist. We don't need to be reminded 600 episodes into a show that this is actually very scary. Like, we know, but we are following, enjoying, and embracing the aspect of defying the government, becoming like, demigods and destroying countries. So it loses that aspect. And the okay, we found the auger, so we should be fine. We just grab Burgess, play. Maybe we'll draw something. Let's see what we get from the 5 life. We get higher. No, we can get another card from his hand though. Could also swing 7 into this, but nah. I guess we have the extra. Oh, I guess I can play Myra. Swing 8 into Zoro. And then if he doesn't defend it, we just kill it with Augur. And if he does defend it, if he does defend it, we kill it with Augur, and if not, then we just play Burgess. In this case, Augur. Blah, blah, blah. There we go. Rosie was okay, but gonna be honest, PDF vibes. I love you, kid. And Law is just like, alright, Joe, you have to be baiting me here, right? They're like, if you are okay, if you're rage baiting me, then I accept. It is good bait, okay? If you're not, then that is the most retarded take so far. I don't have a 2K. Do I defend him? I think it gives me high enough tempo. Uh, ha 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 ha. We just play the 6 cost. We can be mean about this. He used it for leader ability. Oh right, I mean he has to do that eventually, right? This fucking sucks. What do you want? Pity? You're a fucking Nami player. Can't even save a kid's life anymore without getting called a pedophile. Very true. Joe is baiting for sure, yeah. I know Joe, well enough that he's not a complete degenerate. He has an IQ above 85, so I doubt he would hold this opinion. Where are my damn 10 costs? There you go. I could have shot the Robin as well, but this works. You win. Not easy. Sit the fuck down now. Beautiful. Yo, imagine that. Rose, what an insane fucking take. I had never even thought of it. Imagine the amazing pedophile that Rosie would be. Think of, he's got that silence fruit, so they can't call the police or anything. Uh, Unlike the goat Garling who just kills. Honestly, it was weird. IQ 86, baby. Yeah. I mean, if somebody were to honestly think that, whether Joe was baiting me or just more retarded than I thought he was, it's just people being like too conditioned to consider it like that. With all the stories about that type of shit and Epstein, people just like are looking for it everywhere when in almost no case somebody has like such, feelings or aspects to themselves, and it makes like otherwise very normal interactions weird because there's somebody looking at it with that lens, Uh, I'm not big on Law and Zoro. I think that's part of big our opinions differ. The rule of cool only does so much for me in One Piece. Everyone's cool in the series, IMO. Okay, fair point. I will agree that Zoro in particular is mostly rule of cool. Uh, but he is very cool, and so I get it. Um, and I wouldn't say Zoro is my favorite character. I mean, it's Law or Teach, and the second place would be the one that's not that. And so yeah, as you say, like while even Luffy is also just straight up cool now, right? I mean, he's always been a little silly, and now he's still a little silly sometimes. But since he's a bit more serious, he gets the extra bit of aura farming. We've always had Shanks, we've always had just cool shit like that, right? So yeah, Zoro isn't as much in comparison, but he still does have like the coolest moments in those things. Uh, you know, the of course the cheese is nothing happened. Nothing happened, but what his declaration to Luffy at the start, and he just over the course of the story, especially when the stakes were a touch more minor, he just always shown in that scenario. Mm, he's got the cool aspect, but also his kind of unwavering loyalty is kind of nice. Mm. At least Law has a basic personality. He can't be compared to the cardboard fraud sword version of Zoro. Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, as a character, Law is better. He's of course super badass, but in design, in power, in just execution. But then he also, we saw I like the scene where he's joining the Straw Hats on the boat, and Sand, they're trying to talk serious stuff, and he's just being ignored because Luffy is an idiot and the Straw Hats are silly. And Sanji is like, hey, I made sandwiches. And Law just finally breaks with his, normal serious attitude. And it's just like, I don't like bread, and his face, and it's beautiful. But yeah, Law has that, cool backstory. He has personality, and we know there's like substance to it. It's not just a sad backstory. Like Zoro's backstory is kind of sad, but even then his entire personality was fighting with swords and being cool. But Law has the aspect of, being a doctor and caring for people and wanting to avenge Corazon and not being like Doflamingo. Hey, we got the Lucy matchup. We may have to temporarily put our beef on hold as I beat this guy up. I didn't finish the video, but number one is Egghead, right? By process of elimination, you are very smart, and yes, it is. Uh, does he have more personality? That's why I said before that Law really needs someone. Dude has LB to bounce off of now. That's it. Who's LB? Okay, maybe these are manga spoilers that I don't know about. I can't explain why, but Luffy being a sun god really kills a lot of his charm for me. No way. I love Gear 5. Uh, like like we're in a late game shonen manga, and the development of Gear 5 is so good compared to like another Dragon Ball style upgrade of being faster and having more power. Uh, the fights are so much more interesting. The aspect that it's so silly in a way, but it still farms so much like aura in is so badass. The way it flicks between being like a little bit silly and being absolutely terrifying and cool is so nice. I think in the like fight against Lucci, you can see it so well. The way he just jumps from the silly jump to just appearing in front of him with his demonic face is so good, and it's so much more interesting than just being fast. Okay, so he has the dream setup of Leo and another one cost to protect. Um, and we find Doc, but he'll drop the Viola. Do I give up on it? Do I just say fuck it? Because if he has another one cost, mm, I can still play it, not kill, and shoot it anyways. And I think that may be the play, even though I do want stage. I'm gonna prepare to basically kill him, kill like black hole the Leo, and then shoot the Cavendish with the normal ass engine. Yeah, Egghead is so good. Like, such a dense amount of so many cool different things happening. Law and Badass in the same sentence. That sounds weird, but each their opponent, bro. You guys are so many L takes in this chat. Speaking of which, I fucking hate Sabo. Damn, bro, this is wild. Somebody needs to collect the wildest of these takes, cause this is interesting to say the least. Sadly, no Kuzan, but I'll just play the Augur naturally. Uh, Having Kuzan would have been so much better. Because if I had Kuzan, then I could have just left it there and not get hit by pistol. That fucked me. So there's stage. Yeah, this is looking very bad. Gonna hit me with another Rebecca or some shit. If we can still have the awakened fruit and cartoon how much powers without being a god. I mean, fair enough. I also, yeah, okay, so he does have the Rebecca. This dude has fucking everything, man. Holy. Um, yeah, the trash isn't that big, so I just leave it at Kuzan for now. Trash, I guess, is stronger. Was not a fan of Gear 5 on release. It took 2 or 3 jabs for me to feel better and not just like prophecy fodder. True, true. I also much prefer when yeah, like everything being like, destined and this was kind of always meant to happen kind of takes away a bit from the weight of the decisions and the things that led up to this because it makes it feel like, I mean, it was going to happen anyways. Um, So I'm glad it's not fully in that direction. So I understand it. And I also at the start disliked the change into a mythical zone because I thought, the using your like medium strength devil fruit power in such an interesting way or creative way, let's say, that the gear 2, 3, 4 are set up in. Um, is more unique than just like, oh, anything goes. And you didn't actually like invent anything smart. It was just doomed to be that way from the start. Fuck. Yeah, so I guess I can't remove anything anymore. I guess I could double black hole Leo, but I don't, even then it doesn't fucking kill. This is so annoying. If I play 6 cost, it'll probably just get bottom decked. Do I even have a Burgess? I don't have a Burgess. So I guess I can grab Augur just as a body. Swing. Might get Burgess though. If I get a 4 cost. Top decking with Kuzan, But it looks like we're screwed. Sabo introduction is so bad. Yeah, because he's set up to be part of Stride Grand Fleet, but even when compared to Captain Useless Mid, he's a rounder character that has a better crew ship. Stan hates Sabo? I don't think I'd be able to. I like the Revolutionary Army and Luffy too much to hate on him, despite the writing hiccups he brings about. I don't know Coco. Oh, Coco's just the chat is arguing between themselves for those people watching this afterwards, which is a great reason to join whenever you have the chance to join these lovely conversations. I don't think Kid and Law are very different on the surface. We just need him to have a backstory to change people's hearts and minds. Don't think we'll get anything about Kid, I'm guessing. In this matchups and ranks, I'm a noob. I always play Black Hole Cavendish. Is that not a good play? It is a good play. We would love to Black Hole Cavendish. However, Leo protects him from getting Black Hole for basically free. And I would Black Hole Leo and then Black Hole Cavendish, but Sabo protects Leo from getting Black Holed, and Leo protects Sabo from getting Black Holed. So it's actually impossible to. It's actually impossible to kill him now. The only way to do it is by swings. I'm guessing he just plays a Lucy here or another Cavendish, so I just lose. Another Sabo, so much card draw, man. Ridiculous. I mean, this could get just killed, so I think I need to block with it now while I have the chance. Oh, he's killing me like that, huh? Oh my god, bro. Oh. Send cost first. Done. Cavendish. Go life a bit. Guess I should have swung into Sabo, but I don't think it matters. We have 3 swings against 1 blocker. We don't really have counter. Damn. We don't even have a body, huh? Get the dock. Kill, I don't know, the Leo. Wait, what? Why did it die? Didn't he bottom deck something? What? Lucy, no. Wait, somebody help me understand this. If your character that would be removed, you may place one of your characters at the bottom of the owner's deck instead. I'm guessing he like did some misclicks with the like all the sabos. Uh, is the Teach KO engine good or B&B better? The KO engine is the way to go at the moment. It's a bit better against Lucy, although we don't get to see that now because he got like the perfect high roll wall. Starting Leo into another 1 cost, into Cavendish, into like Sabo so that you can't even black hole out of it. Disgusting. Having the pistol onto Augur because I didn't manage to draw um, yeah, we're dead. Guess I could have done rematch. Well, forgot to like the stream. Well, good choice to like it now. We need further exploration and a crocodile's past as a drag queen. Do we have anything about him being a drag queen? I don't want manga spoilers, but anything before that. All we have is that Ivankov was able to kind of blackmail him in Impel Down about his past. So the funniest explanation would just be, yeah, I'm not making the mistake again, where I play Doc and activate it, and he just rests it and nothing happens. I don't know why I did that. I'm talking too much with you guys. Yeah, but it seems like the most likely scenario would just be that Crocodile was a woman, that Ivankov gender swapped into a dude, either because Crocodile asked him to, or just for the lols. Can my favorite Blackbeard streamer give you a shout out? Yeah, what's up, dude? IX Peepers. Not quite sure where the name comes from, but no reason not to. What's he hitting me with 4 with? Usopp, okay. Uh, so annoying. All this free protection. I can't shoot anything, I can't swing into anything, I don't have stage. Life is sad. This matchup is like 90-10. Yeah, it's mostly a win. They make Croc a woman in the live action. I mean, no, but they had a woman that looked suspiciously like Crocodile in the introduction scene. Just kind of mentioned, you know. I mean, I can make him rest 2 Dawn so he can't play his bodies. Which sounds funny. Sorry if you already answered this before, but what do you think is the likelihood you'll actually switch to OP16 Blackbeard right now? I will not switch to OP16 Blackbeard. No way. I have an April Fool's video about switching to Black Yellow because he's so much better of a deck. But I will definitely try it. It looks like it could be a fun deck. It looks like there's enough cards in it, like enough support that we want to play, that we won't be playing like yellow trigger slop. I mean, I would not never play it anyways, but just as the general thing, right? It looks like there could be enough skill expression to be fun. Plus, it's teach, you know. Um, and it's also like good, like, you know, might as well catch people that are into that as well. Smooth transition. So I'll probably, you know, try it and I'll play a bit of it, but I will mostly stay focused on OP09 Teach. Crocodile being a woman doesn't bother me. I mean, yeah, no, it would be funny. I'm just more confused about where this idea comes from. Just that brief EVA interaction? Yeah, basically. It's just that brief interaction. Uh, that's all it is. I could grab Augur, but it kind of depends on what I get here. I guess I'll do it like this. Yeah, guess it was the right play. Keep the Burgess. Guess I could Black Hole, but yeah, that's not a bad idea. I think that's the route I'm head through. Still no stage, so the Burgesses are weak. I'll keep it like this. But enough people bring it hard to gauge if it's real or not. I mean, kind of. It's just like it would just be really, really funny. You know, Crocodile is such like an evil villain and kind of like badass. He's got a really deep voice, you know. Uh, the idea that that he was a woman and especially like how that happened, because like to be fair, right? It was actively, it wasn't like just a flash, right? Like he was actively shown. We see him like blushing, getting embarrassed, like, and Ivad is is able to blackmail him, right? So he's willing to cooperate because he doesn't want that secret out. So Ivan has some secret on him, specifically Ivan, right? Which is why people think of the gender stuff. If it was just, you know, some other person, then the Croco mom would have never been born. But because it's specifically Ivan that has this over him, would give the idea that it might be, you know, gender related or gender swap related. Since he doesn't seem like the type to have like a personality switch where like he used to be a drag queen and now he's not anymore. It doesn't really fit because why would he like randomly switch away? So something, so if he got gender swapped, it would basically be a clean explanation for why that happened. If not that, then we don't have an explanation. That of course doesn't mean that the possible explanation is true, but you know, just as to why people would consider this being an actual thing. Mm, morning chat. Morning to you too, Mojo. Might also be good for a channel. Showcasing both decks could help with sub count, no? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Spreads the scope a bit. Doing general One Piece videos, of course, as well. But I feel like it's not as much because it's not like a. I guess it also connects because I do like I don't know what percentage of OPTCG players are also One Piece fans. I'm guessing it also slowly gets you into it because you are constantly plagued by people telling you to watch One Piece. Uh, but yeah, my ears are dead. Rough. That cough destroyed my ears. Oh, I'm sorry. Uh, that could be cool. Green protection is always so broken. Yup, and the removal as well. Crocodile is still my favorite villain. I can't see it changing if Everreal's the same. It would be hilarious. I mean, knowing like post time skip Oda art. Let me see a massive titty crocodile. Sir Crocodile is overcompensating. That is a very valid point. If he was just, you know, normal dude, why would he bother to add Sir on it? Is it true? I need to see Mr. Two's reaction. If it is true. Dude, that would be hilarious. Carl, who the fuck shuffled your deck? I don't know, bro. I wonder if the backstory will be Croc hiding their previous identity or if he actually just wanted to be a guy. I think if he want, I mean maybe. Yeah, no stage yet. It's dumb. And there's the freeze. We got some good value out of it. And he has a Laboon, so I can't shoot the Zoro anymore. Uh, yeah, I think we just swing life, right? Playing Augur doesn't seem that useful here. Am I dead? No. He doesn't have enough swings. So we just put him to 0. I guess we have Teach, so I can see how much he's willing. Now I guess like so this gives him 10k, right? So he'd have to use all the Dawn. And then I'll swing with Teach. Here comes the Lunas. Any tips dealing with Thriller Bark slot matchups? My locals are just a mix-up of Yellow Enel, Blue Pearl Nami, Black Yellow Moria running that engine. So Enel is favored, Nami is favored, and Black Yellow Moria is like a free win. Uh, I have. Do I have a guide on any of them? Yeah, basically like Black Yellow Moria, you just don't swing into it early. And you're fine. Okay, the fuck's going on? One moment, guys. Alright, we are back. Yeah, stage is of course way too late. I could swing to kill a Zoro. He has 2 for something like Charleston. Or is it here? And then he can set 3 down as active, so that would be 11k more, so that would put him at 15, so he could get out of it. Depending on the cards. Would I then be dead? Yes. I would be. Depending on the life. I mean, he would have to start with 7 and then 9. I think I might survive depending on what. So I think I can swing 12 life and see what we get from it. Yeah, I mean, only really one option, right? Charleston into the thingy, into counter, could survive. Easy. Freest matchup of my life. Easy. Okay, now. If you had to pick a few decks you think are well designed in OPTCG, what are you picking? So I'm actually making a video on that. I made one for the worst ones, I'll make one for the best ones. So I'll drop that somewhere in the near future. He probably wanted to be a guy because he knew Oda wouldn't have made him important if he was a woman. Base take. Insanely big brain moment from female crocodile. Did you say we're favored into Penel? No, but he said that he was talking about yellow Enel, not purple Enel, right? Yeah, exactly. You could have killed the Laboon with Doc Q at the end. You're right, that would have been pretty funny. That would have been pretty funny. He's dead, right? Yeah, he is dead. Honestly, I swapped to Teach because I saw so much yellow. I mean, yeah, very valid reason. Went undefeated. I'm a Brook player. Don't make a Brook guide for Blackbeard to beat me, bro. If you need a guide as Blackbeard to beat Brook, you're a lost cause, anyways. Then you might start saying shit that law is not cool, and you know at that point, what's the point? Probably Joey's watching Dragon Ball. I didn't say we were favored into purple Enel, just yellow Enel. He can't do Charleston because he needs to select the Dawn to reactivate before the counter phase for leader ability. Oh, okay. Spoiler Carl thinks Green Zoro is the best designed leader. Green Zoro is literally on my list of the worst designed leaders. Just watch the video. Okay, another Lucy. Come on, come on. We can do it this time. Give me the beat, boys, and free my soul. Make a guide to beat the fish. Who the fuck's the fish? Arlong? Or Shirahoshi? Any tips on the mirror matchup? So, mirror matchup, a couple tips. 1, be me. 2, go second. 3, find stage early. 4, I don't know. Find my arrows and then just build Burgesses. Whoever has more Burgesses when the teachers start dropping wins. Bigger, better Burgess means victory. Guess I'll grab a Doc. Could also grab a Kuzan. Having the option is nice. I'll put black up front. I only need one auger, right? I mean, the double setup would be kind of funny. I'll do it via Kuzan. I guess since I'm not trashing, he's just gonna play Cavendish. Did he keep his hand? No, he mulliganed, okay. We didn't have the one costs, so he has to have something, right? Is the Brook matchup that free? I've beaten most Blackbeards online. Okay, fair enough. Maybe it's, maybe it's just a skill issue and I personally fucked them up. But yeah, it's pretty free if you play it well. Like, of course, if you have Vortex, it's really funny because, they just die as soon as you activate it. Okay, I guess I got punished for leaving him on place. That's a lot of Leos. I assumed he'd play some even if he didn't have any, but yeah. Yeah, but like Brook basically, like even if he kind of plays it slower, he just doesn't have like the tempo to kill us most of the time. And he can get close, he can try. Without on plays, the 8 cost Nami is an 8 cost 6k body, which I don't need to tell you is kind of mediocre. Uh, he's got so we'll shoot the Cavendish, grab a Burgess and an Augur. Or do I just grab Augur? Then leave the other one up. Gives me a bit of flexibility. Another Doc Q. I guess I could take the Myra, just go into the Burgess direction. If I take another Augur, I could shoot Sabo, which would be really funny. If I grab the Doc, I can see it working. I lost to Mirrored Locals this weekend, so all 5-cost Kuzan and not Burgess. So I black-holed his Burgess, and he can get it back from trash while I was 5-cost Kuzan just to get from trash, and while he... Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you don't see Burgesses, you're just cooked. There goes those. I get to kill some of these 1 costs, which is pleasant. I guess I'll grab a Devo, 2k. I don't want to play 6k, so maybe a 5k. Devon, another Doc. Let's kill these 1 costs. This one for the swings and Leo, this one for the blocks and Leo. This one we'll just kill with Doc, and Kuzan would be just such a nice play if Barrier Pistol didn't exist. Do I just actually play the Burgess raw? How many Kuzans do I have left? 2. It's actually not bad. If I play Lafitte, I have a good chance of finding him. But then I don't have enough to play Doc as well. Another one? Okay. Well, I'll activate that right away, I think. At this point, I want the tempo. No Caribou, sadly. Black Hole to kill would be funny. I'm not really that scared of death. Do I have a teach in my deck somewhere? I do. I'll actually trash it as a brick then. Yeah. Although admittedly, it does feel like this guy wasn't that good. Maybe it was just his hand. Cause like he played Cavendish. Yeah, I guess he played Cavendish because he didn't have like the Dawn to play. Like he only had 4, so he played Cavendish. If he had 5, he would have also played Leo, but it's like that. The Lucy is sweating buckets right now. Yeah, I mean he got absolutely cooked. I won't start another game right away because I have to make dinner. Surprisingly, I have a girlfriend and I am making dinner today. Meaning that I need to get started at some point because it's gonna take a while. Gonna be some nice bolognese. Gonna be tasty. I've gotten better at it over the many years. It started bad. It started horrifying. I'm pretty sure one time an Italian dude like saw saw my spaghetti bolognese, right? And he just killed himself like on the spot. He had a gun. It was horrifying, but it was kind of understandable. So I don't really blame the dude. It was just where's the damn grater? There it is. It was a very simple recipe. He played Cavendish in 6 and then put Leo in, yeah. With opinions like yours, it is surprising you have a girlfriend. Yeah. I just have that charm, I guess. But yeah. No, the OG recipe was just 4 ingredients. Meat, the noodles, grated cheese, like shredded cheese, and like tomato, like a tomato sauce thingy, all in equal parts, 500 grams of each. Cook the noodles, mix the rest together, mix the whole thing together, and then eat that over the course of like 3 days. Because you have like 6 kilograms, you have like 2 kilograms of food, right? So I could eat it for like breakfast and dinner for 2 to 3 days, you know, as you do, and it would become a horrifying concoction that I just got used to and didn't have a problem eating repeatedly. Once my girlfriend, kind of joined and like saw what the fuck I was doing, she slowly forced me to cook better, eat a wider variety of things. So slowly I started doing fancy things like adding salt, keeping the noodles split from the sauce when I would reheat it, Uh, adding onions and garlic. Adding, yeah. So those are like have been the solid upgrades. Then eventually I started adding sugar as well, just a little bit. It's good to balance the acidity of the tomatoes, and is nice. It's just a little thing that adds a little flavor that's easy to not know about. And then eventually I upgraded that into carrots, shredded carrots, which is what I will now be doing, shredding carrots, because it adds the sweetness of the sugar while also giving a little bit more substance. Where's the damn peeling thing? Uh, there. There it is. I bet it's not a tablespoon of sugar, more like a sprinkle, right? Yeah, it's more like a sprinkle. If you add like a full tablespoon, then you actually taste like active sweetness, and that's not what you're going for, because it clashes too much with the generally hearty meal, right? What you're going for is just something that you wouldn't actively notice. Like you wouldn't like eat it and be like, damn, do you added sugar? But like it just tastes nicer without the person clearly knowing why. Um, because the acidity of the tomatoes is balanced out a bit. And yeah, once the carrots are there, you don't need that anymore because they add sweetness already, while also making you feel like a real genius Italian for doing some shit like adding carrots to your bolognese. But it's a classic thing to do, or like in Italy, I think sofrito is the name. Uh, Carrots, celery, and onions. You just kind of shred those up and fry them, and it's just a really nice base for a lot of things. Now, I personally haven't added celery to my bolognese, but I guess I might as well try at some point, since the other two work quite nicely. My heart stopped. What do you mean sugar and tomato sauce? Try it. It's good. I mean, I say it's good. It's not like you're like, it's just a nice little quality of life increase. Look it up if you need to. It's like a classic Italian thing to do. Sounds like you need to appreciate Sanji even more, King. Yeah, I do feel good that it's gotten so much better over the years. Mamma Mia Pizzeria. Tomato sauce is naturally sweet though. Eh, I mean, it depends on the tomato sauce, right? Like, how artificial are we talking here? If you add milk, cream, and the acidity draws out of the sauce, it'll taste sweeter without the need to add sugar or carrots. I mean, yeah, you could add milk or cream instead of the carrots. But I personally have very much liked the carrots. I haven't been doing it for adding them for too long. But the extra bit of texture is just nice. But it's like difficult to notice or like to tell. So like if you made somebody like before and then you made it with the shredded carrots, they wouldn't be able to tell like what actually changed. Um, or at the very least what flavor changed. They might notice that the substance is a bit different, but the shredded carrots are shredded, right? So they're very thin. There's no bites to it. They're like very, very small pieces. Um, barely pieces. So they just work to give you a bit more substance to the sauce. You just take one carrot, shred it up, cook and mix it till the moisture leaves. It's nice. It's nice. Mm. Fun stream, by the way. Thanks for killing an hour or two of the Monday work. No problem, bro. Some gameplay and some just beefing over Water 7, whether or not law is cool. Wait, let's see. If... Yeah, it looks like based on the input, you can hear the carrot grating, which I don't know. Tell me if you can hear it, because I do not intend to have you poor fuckers listen to carrot grating. Da, da, da. Yes, we can hear it. Okay. Is it bad? Is it okay? Does it just sound like grating? So I think one carrot will be enough. I peeled two, so I guess I'll just eat the second one. Bit relaxing. Okay. Well, that's reassuring. And then the onions, all the prep work. And then when my girlfriend comes back from work, she will be happy. Yeah, like ASMR, and then like, you know, ASMR colon, shredding carrots while being told that Purple Anel is overpowered cancer. Carrot isn't grating, she's cool and funny. Yeah, she's many things. Real life calls, you must disappear. Alright, Coco. If I remember correctly, you had some incredibly bad takes. I don't know if I'll miss those, but yeah. Till later. Carrot. Did you guys think Carrot would join the Straw Hats? Or did you hope she would? I guess it would be risky to be both an ingredient and a hot woman at the same time around Sanji, right? You're just kind of like a double target, and you're gonna end up tied up somewhere or just thrown in a pot. Coco like lies on your. Alright, that's good, that's good. There were some bad takes. There were some horrible takes. Now, one could argue that my take on Water 7 is bad. By the way, does anyone actually defend Wano? Like, there's people who say like, oh, Wano's a good arc, but when you when you remind them that 80% of the arc is nothing happening, and all of the cool shit they're thinking of is the last 10% in the raid on Onigashima and the fight and Gear 5, and then usually they're like, huh, I guess so. But what about the Odin flashbacks? And it's like, yeah, I mean, those are cool flashbacks. Although even the coolest part about those things are kind of not Odin. It's just like Roger and Whitebeard, which isn't connected to Wano. It's just where they happen to be at some random point in time. So I'm still surprised that JB isn't formally on the crew yet. With the little girl in her pomp? Is JB Jimbei? What little girl in her pomp? Okay, I don't know about these things. I'm guessing they're in the manga? Wano IMO is like Return of the Jedi. High highs and low lows, so it can be polarizing. There are no low lows. Actually, no, there are. The moment when, like, obviously spoiler for Wano, but actually this is not a big spoiler, but the moment when Momonosuke is in his dragon form, like, and he needs to like keep the island up from like falling, and he's like crying all the way through, like while Luffy's trying to fight Kaido or something, and he needs like constant reassurance to like do the shit that he's like supposed to do anyways. Like, this isn't, you're not even fighting anybody. Like, believe in yourself already. Jesus Christ. Amnesia Mom is a low for me. Okay, the kind of true. It seems like a weird out, but at the same time, it was kind of funny. Olin or whatever her name was. Wano's just kind of like nothing happening for most of the time. There's a lot of setup, but it doesn't even like actively, you know, do things that are super important. Most of the time, nothing is happening. Like, people say Dressrosa is long, right? But it's half as long as Wano, and Dressrosa actually has shit happening all the time. You know, we have the Colosseum, we have the things start relatively early. Wano just kind of waits. The country itself is like much more boring than something like Whole Cake or Dressrosa, where you walk into it and you're like, oh, this is fun. And then Oda is like, haha, joke's on you, it's actually incredibly horrifying. Um, so Wano in comparison is just like, yeah, we have a authoritarian dictator and the people don't get enough food. And that's about it. Also, we're kind of Japanese, so, you know, cool. Animes only, so I have to slog through this Rosa and Wano. Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I guess so. I hope the remake, I mean, it'll take forever till they get to, like, Dressrosa. If you're watching One Piece, which you should be, then of course, you have the advantage of that, cutting out a lot of, you know, bad pacing and repetition, which makes Dressrosa much nicer. So if any of you were planning on rewatching or watching or continuing to watch, highly recommend One Piece. Takes the anime, brings it closer to manga pacing, cuts out, you know, awkward back and forth, cuts out filler arcs, mm, cuts out like repetitive recaps, which makes the whole thing just much more pleasant, especially in some of those later arcs when it's noticeable. Big Mom in general is very odd, that arc, because she's such a cool character and also a terrible mother. Very true, but I mean, we knew she was a terrible mother from the get-go, right? Thankfully, her fights were cool. Yeah. Shout out to the anime onlys. Oh, you just said that. Whoops, I missed. I just skipped a message. Yeah, yeah, yeah. To be fair, by now we've reached a point where the action fights are like the animation is really good to a level that makes the fights actively cooler. Like like I'm not somebody who cares a lot for animation or visuals in a way. And the way I mean that is like I will not see a series or a movie or something and be like, it looks ugly, I'm not gonna watch it. And if somebody asked me at like episode 100, like how I feel about the visuals or animation style of One Piece, uh, I I would be like, oh, okay, I guess I hadn't noticed it. Um, but like later on, recently in One Piece with Wano and with Egghead, you know, like the fights are actively you notice it, even if you don't care about animation most of the time, you actively notice like holy shit. This is actually so good. Not just the fighting itself and the choreography and the hype, but the animation itself. I think then like hockey helps with that. Does Teach usually go second? Yeah. Mm, but I mean, it's not even fair to say yeah. It's so variable. Basically, we're always trying to steal what our opponent wants to do. Um, and ideally also, you know, so that we can use leader ability later. Like every enemy leader has like usually a position where we start using leader ability. Like say we're against a deck that runs Nami, and so we start turning off on plays at 5 dawn, right? So if we go first, then they go at 6 dawn, right? So we can kind of do it one turn later in a way than if they were going first and got to Nami on 5 cleanly. The KO engine also kind of encourages you to go first because you can play Augur on 5 and use the dock you played on 3 to shoot the forecast, which you can't do. At the moment, we want to go first against Enel, 100%. We want to go first against Lucy, probably. We want to go first against Nami. We want to go second against Boa and Moria. What else is there? We want to go second against Brook. We want to go first against Green Purple Luffy. We want to go second against the Nell. It's pretty even. Great idea would be to discuss the basics of playing the top 10 decks. That is a wild concept. The basics of the top 10 decks. There is no such thing as basic, alright? With me, you're either gonna get a 2-hour in-depth leader breakdown or you're gonna get nothing. Pick and choose, I guess. The Lucy like matchup guide will be coming out today, which is why I was hoping to run into Lucy, and I did. But just for like a smooth game to kind of show the theory that I explain in practice, right? Wano has episode 1015, objectively the greatest One Piece episode so far. I'm sorry, bro. I don't have in my head what exactly happens in 1015. Do you like first into Lucy? Disabling on plays turn 1, not 2, then all turns onward? Yeah, that's exactly what I'm leaning towards at the moment. Although if you go second, then that changes. Because then we can then they can play Cavendish and a Searcher on their on 5 instead of on 4. So it's a bit more uncertain. I'll have to go through things again and double check the theory and for the clean conclusion. If you're ever fully uncertain, you can always just wait until 7 for the Sabo. But there's a good chance we will go the approach where we deny the searchers. I've already gone through a good amount of the probabilities and the math. How much does it change his chances of finding like both Leo and Cavendish, right, at the same time? Because if he just has Cavendish, we can shoot it with Augur Dock, we can shoot it with Black Hole, we can shoot it with Tempest Kick Dock. And if he just has Leo, then of course he just doesn't have the body that we're worried about. But if he has both, then he actually has, you know, he actually has a good win condition. Because without it, he just has the Sabo, and if he plays the Sabo, he can't do anything else that turn. And then he's just behind. 1015 is chapter 1000. Feels like the beginning of when the anime is at least the level of the manga. After that we get all the good stuff, like fan letter and the egghead. Thanks to you. I like anti-meta decks in OP15. I had no idea what to play on. Now I know it. Blackbeard. Fantastic choice. And I love really these decks. Indeed. A lot to learn, a lot to lose is a motivation to become better. That is very true. Everything about that is true. Teach is just a deck with a very high skill ceiling, and so it encouraged, like, it's also noticeable, you know? Like, after a game that you lose, you often notice, like, I think I could have won that. Maybe I could have won that, or definitely I could have won that. And even when you win, you're like, I could have lost, and I didn't need to have that option. I could have played it better, and then I would have won in every scenario. And that also leads to, you know, wins where you're like, I fucking deserved that. Hell yeah. And that's much more satisfying than playing like trigger slop, getting 3 triggers and being like, oh, I won, I'm so good at the game. When deep down you know you're just a mid-tier player. What was it? Third grade duelist with a 4th grade deck or something? From Yu-Gi-Oh! But Kaiba is so funny. But yeah, Teach is just a very fun deck to play in the short version aspects, but also just in the broader satisfying aspects of it, right? Now, carrots are shredded enough. I won't add much more than that. Tomato sauce is ready. Next will be setting up some onions and garlic, boiling some water. Obviously, not the greatest of sim gameplay ranked streams. Sorry about that. I feel almost guilty just actually having the stream running instead of just closing and saying bye, but might as well. For those who have absolutely nothing else to do. Where is the garlic? There it is. Found it. It was in the fridge. Now let's check. What time is it? 18:50. How many people are still in the stream? Actually, I'm curious. 27. Okay. So a bit down from when I was actually playing, but still some people chilling. You play the Katarina Devon, yes? Why? Might as well open my deck list. Why do I play the Devon? Because I find the Shiryu better who kills a 3-cost. Well, the Shiryu that kills a 3-cost isn't a blocker. If you're thinking about the Shiryu that kills a 4-cost, it's a nice card, but yeah. So Devon is a Kuzan target, which is a blocker Kuzan target, which is important. That when you need that extra bit of defense, you're able to find it. When you need a blocker, you're able to find it using Kuzan, which lets you draw, and is very good for just defensive plays. Her blocker is given using an activate main, which means it's not removed by things like the ground death. It also Devon also has 6k, so she can actually like free block swings at some point. And if not free block, if you're going to counter out, you can block and then counter out to save yourself 1k. And then most importantly, arguably, is the fact that she can give herself double attack, which allows you to go for game in situations that are otherwise impossible to win, either because you just don't have enough swings mathematically otherwise, or because the swing order of swinging high with Devon then leaves your opponent low enough where they just can't counter out of that many like leftover Burgess or Teach swings. I don't want to play the big 3 decks. Good choice. I wish Penelope Nami were just a little worse. Lucy is such a good meta deck to have because he's much more exploitable. True. And Al is just insane. What's going on, brother? Yo. Hello, bro. Kind of cool that you stream in your kitchen, by the way. Bro, I'm sorry, okay? I want to hang you with you guys, but I need to make dinner or my girlfriend will be grumpy, somewhat understandably, because she has been working, comes back and is hungry. So she wants to eat something, and if I don't have anything made, then she'll start cooking for like an hour. Which is, of course, not as fun for her when you're tired and hungry and worn out and you just want some food. So instead, now, of course, I understand that for you guys, you know, the concept of having a girlfriend is kind of weird, so it might be hard to picture, right? But basically, it's like having a friend. Yeah, that might also be difficult to picture. So I don't know fully how to explain this to you guys. Maybe like, you know, if you picture you had a second you that you also kind of wanted to keep happy because, you know, it's also you. And so you were nice and cared for them. Maybe it's easiest to picture it like this, like you're hungry and coming back, and you could choose for there to be a nice meal or not. So you choose that there is a meal, and then you get struck by the plot twist that you actually have to make the food then. And then you're just like, well, fuck it, might as well. maybe you just watched Sanji's backstory and now you're, more motivated. You're like, damn, Sanji's such a badass. If I learn to cook, then I can also die of blood loss because I saw a mermaid with big titties. So, can go in a lot of directions. I can go grab a meal. Wow, that was rude. I mentioned I was dating someone earlier and you're still gonna try to wound me like this? I mean, if you were, then you wouldn't be wounded by this, would you? Makes sense with Devon. Yeah, bro, just ignored it. Sorry, Alpo. You know, you caught a stray, but when rambling on, the truth accidentally spills out sometimes. Now, peeling onions. Then we have peeling the garlic. I feel like I'm slower than I could be. Partly because I'm talking to you guys, but that part's kind of, makes it less boring and more fun. Although I suppose since it's just like on stream, right? I don't see your messages right away. I don't get to talk to you. Guess that's a good reason for you all to join the Discord, because I do also do streams there sometimes that aren't here. And then it's just, a couple of people and, you can talk, ask questions live. Bit more of a casual vibe to it, not so official. Da, da, da. What's wrong with this onion? The hell? Do you hope for more support for OP16, or do you play the new Blackbeard? Well, I hope we get more support for the new Blackbeard. I hope that some of the support that is for the new Blackbeard also works on the old Blackbeard. Just a nice black card that's not on play that we can use. Maybe something with card draw. But of course, I will also play the new Black Yellow Teach when it comes out. And yeah, just to be clear, I will not stop playing Mono Teach. I will mostly focus on OP09 Teach. Even if I will also try playing the new one, because it does look fun. It looks like it'll be like complex enough where it requires skill to actually pilot well. Not as much as like real Blackbeard, but still, at the very least for a yellow deck, you know, I guess the standards for that are pretty fucking low, huh? But still, at least for a yellow deck, the Black Yellow Teach will be quite a high skill deck, so it should be fun to play, especially since for one, I mean it's Blackbeard, so by now I also very much like the character, and for two, we include some of the, we're going to include some of the cards from OP09 Blackbeard, which further gives us that extra bit of connection. Playing it will make it even easier to crush it when we're playing Mono Teach. And I guess also lastly, like, people that will play it have a good chance of coming to this channel. So, just like how I'm the #1 like YouTube channel for currently Teach, I can probably transition that pretty smoothly into also being the #1 content creator for Black Yellow Teach. Keep the identity, smoothly transition, slightly expand the fan base, have a bit more content, even for people that prefer the Mono Teach as they should. I think they'll be curious to see the new Teach play, and I think a lot of people that will be trying the new OP16 Blackbeard will be previous, and also current, but people that have played the real Blackbeard. So it works well as a transition of people that will actually want to see the content. Mm-hmm. Then we have garlic. Open the window. Try to avoid crying. Do you guys try to avoid crying or like try to avoid tearing up when you're like watching or reading One Piece? Because I never understood that. Like, if a moment hits me hard, like I don't know, say I'm watching like Help Me or something, right? And I get to that, like I love to just fully embrace the emotions that One Piece, supplies me with. Obviously, that's really fun when it's like super hype. Um, I guess in One Piece, the saddest moments are also often accompanied by super hype things, right? Mm, because we see the full extent of the sadness, and then we follow up with the resolve to fix that problem, right? Help Me, followed by Of Course I Will, and The Walk to Arlong Park. Shit like that. Of course, the backstory sadness is usually just sad. Mm, and I think I see the backstory sadness with a slightly different approach than I see the actual story sadness. Because the backstory sadness is like interesting. It's like looking, I mean, this is looking into the past, which means you're more like interested in it from like a almost scientific perspective. Oh, I wonder how this came to be. That's interesting. While if the same story was going on in the present, you would be just more devastated because you are in the present and these things are happening now and they could still go differently, right? And so you hope that they might. But yeah, I like to just embrace it, and I don't get it. Like, especially if you like a show, why would you hold back from like crying or tearing up? Like, are you trying to be like really macho for somebody? Is like a girl that you're trying to impress somewhere in the back of the room judging whether or not you're a little bitch by whether or not you cried when Chopper saw the cherry blossom tree looking back upon Drum Island? It seems like a waste. Like a waste of the emotions that the series took all this effort to get into. Now I get to come back and check what the fuck you guys all said. Oh, a good amount of stop things. Oh. I find Dofi is better with this mechanic than the new Teach. Yeah, understandable, right? Dofi has a life more and the leader ability itself is better, but Black Yellow Teach is a yellow deck, so being to throw things into life has more potential and you can heal. Against Anel, you should try clear the one cost with the board even if they flood it with like 3. Yeah, of course. Feels like 14 Dofi in new colors. Yeah, kind of. Probably stronger too, probably. What are your thoughts on flexing some of the Shiryu to pop Holly? Potentially. It looks like some people are taking the Holly out, but it's not a bad card. It can have value. It's got nice tempo. Do you think Blue Kuzan would survive in the upcoming meta? Like the leader? Probably not. Unless he has like, support. We got him, he feels bad and is crying because he regrets his opinions. Exactly, bro. Like I said Water 7 was mid and now just like, everything now the genius arguments that I had never considered before, like Usopp exists in this arc, crying and fighting with Luffy. These genius revelations I had not considered, and now that I know that Water 7 is like a top 5 arc, I just regret the video, and God knows how many hours that took to make. So now I've started hating myself. I am usually at the airport watching One Piece. Oh, okay. Just to like, cause you travel around a lot or you work at the airport. Oh, and then you don't want to cry like a little bitch. Okay, fair. I tried to stop crying yesterday. I was at a wedding. Mission failed. It had to take off and eventually it wore off. I think as you get older, you just kind of let things that take their hold in. Bro, as you get older, bro, I'm not old, but did you did you try to stop crying because of One Piece, or just because, it was a wedding and it was emotional in a positive way? You just kind of let things. Oh, you're old, okay. Damn. Well, I mean, respect to you for being old. Are you older than 50? Uh, da da da. I should have said older than 60. Are you older than 60? Because it's kind of rough, because now you'll feel old if it's like above 50. Yeah, define old exactly. Flick is right. 97? Bro ate some sort of fruit. Did law get to you before and manage to stop your aging? 97? You can still read and type? I feel like I'm being finessed, you know? If the dude is actually 97, fucking shout out. Mm, bro, like, experienced the Holocaust. Bro will see. No, not bro will see the end of One Piece. Bro, I don't know what is the right comparison to make here. I can't think of an appropriate age joke related to One Piece. That's kind of sad. Normally I'd be good at this sort of thing. Let's cut some onions. Just as we were talking about trying not to cry, I have to cut onions. Your kitchen is nowhere near your setup, so you can't like do both in one. Well, I'm sorry, Mr. fucking luxurious house. Mm, that you have to walk all across your mansion if you were to get from one place to the other. Maybe you can get your butler to either make the food or kind of report to you live what's happening on the stream or in the kitchen. 97. Bro came to tell us that World War II didn't happen. There was just one war, the Great War. And Germany won the Great War. And then the rich people in Germany decided to sell the country to the British. And then the British played poker with the Chinese. And the Chinese gambled Japan. And England gambled like all of Europe, but that wasn't England. And they lost, so we got sold over to China. But China got addicted to opium because that's what the British were planning. And then in return for opium, they sold it back to Britain. But then Germany, because they didn't like the Chinese, had started a revolution while they were still under China. But by the time it was sold back to England, it was too late, and the revolution of Germany of the 1955 already went through, and that's how we got to Germany as a country today. But that's all hidden by the elites. They don't want you to know that. But somebody like this 97-year-old dude, he experienced that. He fought in the German wars for independence of 1960 and 1973. He knows things that others could only attempt to fathom. I'm born in 97 and I feel old, okay? You won't make it to the end of One Piece. Yeah, I hope he does, but would be rough. Wish I was born 97. What's your opinion on dropping Lafitte or my air for a third time kick? I dislike it. I think the searchers are too good. No, but I was the same way in One Piece. You just gotta hide. You just gotta let the feelings wash over you sometimes. True. The Europe's History 101, just a big no-limit hold'em game. True. I'm just writing a 50-page Google Doc response, okay? Perfectly normal reaction to this man's opinions. Bro, my opinions are hella based. To be fair, I want to ask, okay? Do any of you have any problems with my ratings aside from Water 7 and Wano? Do you have any actual problems? Because I feel like that's the only thing, and I feel like part of why people like get upset about the Wano thing is because like people keep telling each other about the Water 7 is because people keep telling each other that it's supposed to be a really good arc, you know? Like people keep telling each other that Marineford is a good arc, and it is a good arc, but you would know that even if you hadn't ever asked anybody. But people just kind of reassure themselves that Water 7 is like peak One Piece. And so then it's so shocking when somebody points out the obvious truth, or maybe not the obvious truth, but the truth. Mm, well, aside from like a slight, overall actual gripes with the story. Mm, oh, somebody wrote me. Okay. Maybe they'll buy coaching, who knows? What do you guys like favorite arcs? Always better to focus on the positive. I think the things I put up there are things that are hard to disagree with as being excellent arcs. Like who the fuck wouldn't like Egghead? And if you dislike Enies Lobby or Marineford, I mean, you are cooking up something. Because like the one thing that One Piece fans agree on is that Enies Lobby absolutely slaps, and so does Marineford. I was thinking when I was like originally making the list, right? I was thinking like, maybe Marineford's a bit overrated. Everyone always praised it so highly, but it's quite a while ago and it's just like Luffy fighting people. But then as I went like through the details, setting it up, looking through the arguments, the highlights, the downsides, it's just like, you know what? It's true. It really is just that good. It's not just overhyped nostalgia over like a high stakes event. Marineford is actually just an incredible arc. Mm. Da, da, da. Water. Prepared this. This is gonna fry. We have the noodles. We need to boil that. Garlic. Am I missing anything? I don't need sugar because I have the carrots. Tomato sauce. Also, well, it's not tomato sauce. Technically, it's just tomatoes. Mm, this might also be a weird thing for the Americans to use actual like ingredients instead of like the pre-made stuff, but it depends on where you live, Some Americans I'm bullying unnecessarily. Pre-time skip, Arlong Park, Water 7, Enies MF, Marineford, Impel Down, Alabasta. That's like 80% of the arcs, bro. Post, Egghead, Reverie, and Whole Cake Island. Whole Cake Island. Okay, fair, fair, fair. I love Reverie. It felt odd, like organizing it or like sorting it in, because it's like, Luffy isn't even there. It's not a usual arc in any normal way. So it feels like bad to put it over places, but when it comes like just overall like enjoyment and quality per like minute, it's incredibly difficult to beat. Kind of unfair, right? Because it gets to like collect all the hype from things happening around the world and compound it. No setup needed, no fight scene needed. It just gets to go lore drop by lore drop by lore drop. Coach, do you have a cheat sheet that shows when to leader build E for different matchups? I do. It's on the Discord channel, on the Discord server. I give you the opposite. Most hated arc, Drum Island. Damn, that is a base take. I would disagree, but it's hilarious to have that as your worst island. Egghead was the first post-skip arc that felt like a fusion of the best of what's good from both. Oda cooked. Interesting. I mean, it's on the top of my list, so I absolutely agree that Egghead was absolutely fire and the best arc so far, but why, what do you think it fused of the, what do you think it fused between pre and post time skip? Because of the post time skip arc, it has animation is a weird flex to add, so let's ignore that. But we have like bigger stakes, we have more serious things, we have less formulaic arcs. So I guess it's kind of unfair because Dressrosa and Wano are extremely classic formulaic arcs for the One Piece setup. Get somewhere, find a like hot girl that needs saving, save a monarchy, set up the old monarchy from before, fight like a warlord or something. But Whole Cake was a heavy shift, Egghead was a shift, just unusual. The plan like very soon early on just to get the fuck out is great. I guess the other post time skip aspect it has is the amount of like serious lore drops and influences, right? But what pre time skip aspect do you see in Egghead a lot? Reverie is insane because it was split in half, partially in Egghead and partially in Reverie itself. That's true. If you were to cut the outside of Egghead things from the Egghead Island into the Reverie arc, that would be even higher. It would be so insane. If you add like the Law and Kid fighting emperors and the whole Garb thing, if you put all of that into Reverie, to be fair, it would thin it out a bit since it's a bit, but that would be fucking nuts. That would be put it even higher in the list. I think it had a lot of heart. How do you see the heart? Like, I mean, I would agree, but what do you see in it that like highlighted for you that there's a lot of heart? Because of course, arguably the other arcs like Dressrosa and Whole Cake also had a lot of heart. Let's see. Yeah, let's finish cutting up these onions. Okay. I cried when I was chopping up onions. Onions was a good dog. SH? Satellites? What's SH? Were focus, and their antics were prominent, not enough to overshadow Bonnie, Kuma, Saturn, Borsa, and Vega. Straw Hats. Straw Hats were a focus, and their antics were prominent, but not enough to overshadow Bonnie, Kuma, Saturn, Borsa, and Vega. Okay, I see. My top three: Elbaf, Egghead, Skypiea. Yeah, rip Onions the dog. I mean, I can't speak on Elbaf. Based on the rate, or not the rate, but based on the direction that One Piece has been going, I have high faith that Elbaf will be absolutely amazing. But people often worry it was good at the start, and now it sucks and has lost its heart. But like even the most hardcore pre-time skip old fans will not say that post-time skip is bad or even mediocre. They'll just say that pre-time skip is better. Oda has been just such a fucking champ it's just been a machine, man. I mean, the fact that it just keeps pumping out chapters for decades and continues, and it actually, like, increases in quality, stays the same in quality, adds new stuff. It's so sick. I'm just so happy that I'm a One Piece fan. Over all the things one could be a fan of, being a One Piece fan means I get to have so much content that doesn't, like, get worse over time, and I have to watch it only because I love the setup from before and the characters. Even though I know that now in the present it's not really that good anymore. No, I can just watch it being like, holy shit, this is fucking peak. And I keep saying that because it keeps rising and it keeps being peak. That is a fortunate thing to be able to say about your favorite show. One Piece is a fucking blessing upon this world. I'm so happy I'm also not one of, like, the people that just refuse to, like, watch or read it because it's too long. Yeah, I mean, I get it with the post time skip. Funny. I think part of it is just like, uh, it's different because the stakes are different. And they're not, like, just different because we wander onto an island with bigger stakes. It's because before the time skip, we just kind of, like, the plot was just where we happened to run into, where the log post took us, or just where, like, we run into some person, like I don't know, Vivi or something, and then, go to their island and help out. Now it's more like, we have actual goals, like becoming the Pirate King. It's no longer like a thing that just kind of happens on the side, but something we're actively fighting for. And the conflicts that arise are people that, are directly trying to compete with us for that, or like world-ending government problems. So, we're no longer small fish in a big pond. We are now big fish in a big pond. And so, of course, it's less casual. But yeah, I get it. My first one was like meh, but since I rewatched it, I have to say insane. That's why third. I'd also share the spot with Wano. Roof piece. Roof piece, nice. I love any sort of meme name, like changing just a random part of One Piece with a word depending on what you're just referring to, or just also characters. Fraud Shanks. New leader will be sick. You should tell us your favorites besides Law and Teach. For the boys, I'm the biggest Shanks, Usopp, and Kobe guy. So I think I've clarified that I'm not an Usopp fan. But since day one, helps that they've been around since the beginning. Yeah, so I don't like Kobe for a similar reason I don't like Usopp, is because he was just crying and whining all the time. But he's stepped the fuck up, so I've grown to respect him a lot more. Um, he's still like always in this like sad running away underdog position most of the time, even though Garp seems to be doing his very best to get him to man the fuck up fully. But we saw him do things like, let himself get taken prisoner to protect people. And, while that in itself would be nice, what's just important about it to me was that he wasn't crying the entire way through, right? He was doing like, just as a like conscious choice, I'm willing to do this. Um, I say as a man, but yeah, kind of, right? That's the vibe it gives. Mm, beverage of choice today. Today, I love milk, so I'll probably be drinking some milk. I have some iced tea, so I might sip on that. And there's always space for some just nice hot tea later on in the evening. Shanks an OG, and I don't get the fraud accusations. I just hate Usopp. Yeah, I mean, it's the fraud accusations are a little bit baseless, but it's still funny. I just love the hockey knot thing, like the idea that Shanks just got hockey knots from Roger, and he just uses those to win his fights. When not playing the Shiryu that KOs a 3 cost, what is the play to do with the dog without setup of Ogre and Dog? You just black hole it, or if you don't have it, try to set up the engine, tank 1 double attack, and kill it then. He needs some milk, he does. Now to actually answer the question, what characters I really like aside from Law and Teach? Yeah, Zora's pretty badass, but it's mostly rule of cool, so we're not like it has faded a bit. As somebody else said, like everybody's kind of cool now. Like Luffy was powerful and silly, but he wasn't as like Zoro was cool because he was not only powerful but like stoic, right? Badass in his inbuilt nature. But now that's not like as not that he's not stoic anymore, and I guess he's also been just very much of a goofball a lot of the time. But yeah, just that there's others for it, but it's still pretty high. I've grown to like Luffy more and more. I think that's a common sentiment of anybody that watches One Piece, because maybe early on you just like Luffy, but maybe early on or just after you get used to it a little bit, maybe he feels a little bit generic, a little too much like happy-go-lucky fight for my friends type of thing. But for one, you kind of like learn to appreciate that more, and for two, he's just become more and more badass and now a bit more serious. And I think Gear 5 also just helps